Hello, hello, hello. Jim Corkin here. Wanted to talk to you a little bit about deck building leads today. Uh, we're going to go ahead and just run through some things real quick. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what's available and probably what you should be doing and where the mistakes are. You should be able to see my screen right now. I've done a search for deck building leads, and this is what we've got. You have companies like Sales Genie, House, leads.construction, and then of course a forum here where people are talking about deck building. That's where we're going to go first, and the reason that we're going to go here first is because this tells the tale of where people are making mistakes in generating leads for their business if they're in a deck building business. So let's go over and click over to the next page. This is a forum where people are asking. Now this is from 2008 through 2010 where these actual posts were made on the forum talking about where to get leads for decks. And as you scroll through, you got people looking, wondering, they're mentioning places like deck.com and other places like House and Thumbtack, all kinds of different places. And this is the commonality. Nothing but junk leads. They get into more detail in some of these, but the general consensus is every time you deal with these lead generation companies, you end up taking it right up the rear end. And that's not good for a business person that's just starting out or even one that's well established or anywhere in between. You want results. These companies, Service Magic is another one, these companies, when they send you a lead, they're emailing you a lead. This is not an inbound call. But they're not just sending that lead to you. They're going out to at least 3 other contractors in your area. So now you've got to get on the phone and contact the customer instead of them contacting you. That's not good because who knows what else they clicked on when they went looking for someone to build decks. That is a major problem. The smart way to do this, now here's another problem. They have lead generation companies and pay-per-click companies, which is what I do with paid ads. I also do SEO and everything, but that's down the road once we get you going. These companies want you to pay per lead, per call. Now, not all calls, you get spam calls and everything else, and then you got to go through disputes to get that cost per lead down because they're trash leads, and you're going to get those on occasion, but you can't really count them as a lead. So I do things a little bit different, and we're going to go into why I'm different than most people. I look at spend. That's what I do, because when you're using paid advertising, you're paying for the ads. You also have to pay me a monthly fee, and that's what's different. You don't pay me per lead. I'm not trying to jack you up. You pay me a set fee per month to manage your account, and you get calls and you get jobs. The reason I wanted to bring this up is because just let me show you some of our recent examples of what we do online. I just wanted to give you a little rundown. A few weeks ago, and these are actual recent projects, this is my website. 1 week of advertising brought in 45K in deck building contracts, or 2.3 million per year gross if run consistently. That's if you can handle that much work early on. If you're early on in the business, you may not have the resources to handle 16, 18, 20 deck builds in a month. So the beauty of this is I'm not just dumping leads on you. I can tone it down or crank it up to fit your needs and your business model and where you're at in the lifespan of your business. Someone who's just starting out who has 1 crew is not going to need 16 deck contracts in a month. They're just not going to be able to pull it off in most cases unless you just have a huge crew where you can wipe out a deck in 2 days. And then you still have weather issues. The second thing is, in your area, there may not be that many. Decks are prominent, from my experience advertising for multiple companies. Decks are usually in areas where you have less flat ground, or they're right in coastal areas where the houses are up on above the ground for obvious reasons, like on for example, the Mississippi River. If you're within a couple miles of the Mississippi River in some areas in the United States, you can get flooded, so your house is probably going to be built up. So anything that you build to enjoy yourself with is probably going to be a raised deck, which is going to be 8, 10, 12 foot off the ground. In Tennessee, where I live, everything's on a slope. It's very rare to find flat ground. It's just almost impossible. Decks are the norm. Where in Florida, patios and sunrooms and stuff like that are the norm. So depending on where you're at, has a lot to do with what I can do for you. I can't help everybody, but there's a lot of people I can help. Probably about half the United States or a quarter of the United States, I can bring in more than you can produce in a month. But it's not just decks. I've been doing this for almost 20 years now. To give you an example, we'll go a little bit further. In 1 week of advertising, I brought in a 30K remodel. Local yoga studio, 16 new clients in 1 week. Now, let's go down a little bit further and let's look at some of this as a result. It was just 2 weeks ago. Well, it was actually about 3 weeks ago now. It was just 2 weeks ago I brought in leads in just 1 week that turned over 45K in deck building contracts for a local contractor in Nashville, Tennessee. That was just 1 week, and the total ad spend was less than $400. That's over $2 million a year in deck building sales alone. But I don't do just decks. What about roofing? Plus 4 to 8 large prime contracts worth to you as a contractor. Wood floors, remodels, siding, drywall, tile flooring, replacement windows, replacement doors, house leveling, pretty much anything in the contractor's field. Now, why do I do this? I specialize in this because I was a contractor for the better part of 15 years. I know the business. So that's the easiest way to put it. Now, here's the thing. This doesn't just work for contractors. It works for just about anybody. You know, we recently done a local CrossFit company in Atlanta and brought in 22 one-year contracts in 1 week with $435 in ad spend. Revenue for it, $18,480 over the next year off of those people that came in on the contracts. A yoga studio in Florida, 16 new clients in just 1 week. Their spend was just a bit over $300, and they had a return of almost $7,000. Those were 6-month contracts. This works for a lot of different companies. The reason it works is because the calls are coming directly to you, not anybody else. You're not sharing these leads, and they're inbound calls, so they get to talk to you immediately, and that makes it easier for you to set that appointment if you do it right. And then once you get out there, if you do your sales plan, if you're good at selling, then you're probably going to get the job. There's a lot of variables involved, but the only way to know is to give me a call and let me evaluate your situation. So give me a call. There'll be a link to my site in the bottom. It'll give you the phone number. You can see it on the screen right here. Give me a call, and I can turn the leads on in just a couple days. And within about a week, you can have closed contracts, and we'll run it as hard as you can. If you only need a week's worth to last you a month, that's fine. If you want to run a month's worth, that's fine also. If you want to run it continuously, or if you're bigger and need to hit more areas than just decks, give me a call. We can hook you up. Thank you and have a good day.